Hey there, this is Katherine. I am sharing a video today. I am going to be shopping my craft stash, and I went around my craft room and dug some stuff out that I've been wanting to use. I found some of these stencils. A couple of these are from Paper Smooches. I'm not sure if they're available anymore since they closed maybe last year sometime. But you could find any kind of stencil. It's just for inspiration. So I've got these other stencils that are from papertreyink. I think they may still be available. If they are, I'll link to it. And then I also am shopping from my Dollar Tree stash. I picked these up the other day and thought they were perfect for spring. I know a lot of people I've been seeing online chatting about some of the Dollar Tree craft products, stamps and dies. I have not seen that in my local craft store, craft section of Dollar Tree, but I did see these beautiful stickers. They're dimensional and they've got some glitter paper, so I'm going to use those today on my cards. I also have this Nuvo shimmer spray that I've had for a bit. The color is Peacock. I think it's actually called Sparkle Spray, but we're going to give that a try. And so let's get started. I'm going to begin by using some watercolor paper. I have a piece of 5x7 that was in my stash. It's my last one, so I'll have to replace that, but it's already pre-cut and it's really, really nice. I love it because of the size. But I'm going to pull out a box and add a little bit of paper in the bottom because you can see I've got a space down there and I don't want it to go everywhere. So I'm going to kind of prime the bottle since I haven't used it yet. I've had sprays sort of like this before, but I didn't really do any research on this. This is just strictly trying it out to see what happens. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to get. But it looks really pretty, and unfortunately on camera it doesn't show all the beauty of it, but it looked very pretty right there. So I'm going to put my 5x7 paper down, and I'm going to lay my stencil down. You probably would do well to tape things down. If you've been following me, you can see I'm not one to really do that. I'm kind of a lazy crafter. But anyway, so I'm going to give this several sprays. Again, I don't know how much I'm supposed to be doing, and my children just came in at this time, and so I left it, and it's been sitting just a few minutes. I also put on a glove so my hands wouldn't get too stained, and I'm getting this up. It's really, really pretty, and then I promptly put my finger right there on it, even using the glove. It gets on there, but that's okay because I'm going to trim it off. But you can see all that sparkle. And then I left this next part in there. I'm going to set this side aside to dry. I left this next part in. You can see that stencil is really wet. So I flipped it over. I would be more careful if you were going to actually use this, but I wanted to try. And I flipped it over and you get this great image. So if you're careful with what you're doing, you could get a positive and a negative image that you could use, kind of a 2-for-1 thing. So I'm going to move on to the next one while that dries. I've got a stencil that I also have a smaller piece of watercolor cardstock that I'm going to use some distress ink to blend. I'm kind of choosing them based on the flowers that are in this little bouquet to the right. I think that's what I'm going to use. And so I'm kind of going to build a little image background for that image. And I'm starting with the orange, probably spiced lemonade. No, not spiced lemonade. Spiced. Oh, I don't know. I'll have to look and see. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't read that well anymore. So then I'm going to move to a pink. And then I have a brighter pink. I'll put all the details in the description. So I just used these 3 colors, and I didn't fill all of my space. There's some left if you prefer to fill your whole page you certainly can. I left it with some white space around it, a little bit kind of an organic look. So I'm going to tie on some bright orange ribbon, and I cut it a little small so my bow is kind of tiny, but it works okay. And then I'm going to trim that off. You can see I don't have much of a tail on one side. I didn't do the best job measuring, but that's okay. It kind of works. So just have to roll with it. I'm going to trim that off, and then I'm going to start layering this onto some cardstock. I'm going to use liquid glue since I'm using watercolor paper. I find that adheres just a little bit better than traditional dry adhesive. I think it just gives a little more bite onto the paper. So you have to kind of keep that wet for a second and then let that dry, kind of glue those together. That's onto a piece of candy cardstock, and then I'm going to a guava cardstock base. All the cardstock in this video is from Stamps of Life. I'll link those. So I've got this cute bouquet that's so pretty. It's got some shimmer and shine, and I'm going to leave that there, but then I decided I wanted to add another little layer, always in my heart. And all of these stickers have foam on them, but only on one side on this one. So I needed to pop that up and have a little bit more dimension. And then I'm just going to finish it off with a tiny, tiny bit of diamond stickles that will dry on those flowers, on the yellow. And that's it on that card. So next, I was still rooting around in my craft stash and decided I wanted to try a paste with one of these stencils. I've got a pearl cardstock. It's pink, maybe from Stamps of Life. It's 6x6, and I'm going to use this kind of shimmer paste. It's really pretty. It's a kind of a forest green, but I thought it would go well with the other stickers that I have in that collection that I got from the dollar store. So the only thing I'd probably change about this one that I didn't love after I did it, well, one, tape it down so it doesn't get everywhere, but two, I should have finished the whole thing. So I'm going to let that dry and we'll come back to it. I'm going back to my Succulent. I've trimmed that down to an A2 size. I'm making sure that it's not wet, and it's not. It doesn't come off on your finger, and it's kind of thick. It's really, really pretty. It's set up kind of differently than I thought it might. It kind of has some dimension to it. And I'm going to add this to a piece of gold foil cardstock that I love, that I've been picking up from Joann's. It's so pretty. It's got that mirror finish. And then I'm going to glue this onto a cherry cardstock base. So I did trim that Succulent down to an A2 sized. It was originally, the stencil is a good bit bigger than an A2. And since I got my fingerprint in there, I thought I would trim it down. So it's just so pretty. I love anything with succulents. I've got these stickers. This one says perfect. And then I also decided to bring in one of these flowers that has some of that gold glitter paper that would tie in with the foil paper in the background. So I'm going to add the perfect. I'm just deciding where to place it. Again, it already has the foam adhesive on it. And that's gonna be it for that one. You could always add a little ribbon or, jazz it up if you wanted to, but for shopping your stash, these stickers are really turning out to be quite cute. So I'm back to this one I mentioned earlier. It's dry now for the most part. A little bit messy. I should have been a little more careful, but I wasn't. So I trimmed it down. It was a 6x6. This is, I think, 5 1/4 by 5 1/4, and I'm adding it onto a piece of bright green paper that I had in another card kit stash, I think from Crafter's Companion. I liked that bright green against the little bit darker green. And then in that same craft stash kit, there was a 6x6 card base already. So I'm just going to use that. I don't normally make 6x6 cards, but like I say, it was in my craft stash and I thought it would be fun to try a little bit of a different size for me. And I love the green glimmer paste. It ended up being really, really pretty. So I've got this large spring sticker that fits at the top. I'm going to use it to kind of cover up where it was a little bit messy at the top. And then I've got another flower, a little bit different. Instead of having the gold on top, the gold's on the bottom. And then this pretty leaf with this cute ladybug. And that's going to be it on that one. And so by shopping my stash today, I was able to come up with 3 card ideas. And I had fun using the stencils and different techniques with them, by either blending them or using a texture paste or some kind of masking with a spray. So I encourage you to look through your craft stash and maybe try something new, maybe a new technique with a stencil. If you haven't tried stenciling before, it's fun and it's a great way to add a little bit of interest to a project if you don't really want to use patterned paper. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. I hope that you'll subscribe. Be sure to like and share, and I will see you soon. Have a great day. Thank you.